We've all got our personal threshold, okay? So the way I explain it, if you were in my clinic with me right now, and I pretty much go through this with every patient, I say, look, let's say you were born in perfect health here, right? We've got this sort of personal, we've got a threshold, right? So we can deal with multiple insults up to a point. So that could be, poor diet, the fact that we don't move very much. We might have had a relationship breakup, which is a stress on our body. We may have a job we don't like, right? It's all building up, getting closer to our threshold. That's when they get sick, right? What I mean by that is often a patient will come in to see me and they'll say, doc, I was fine. Everything was going fine. And then, I changed my job, I don't like my new boss. And then, they come down with an autoimmune illness, right? But when you go into their history, you see things were not fine at all. We're very resilient as humans. We can deal with lots of stresses, right? But something is like the straw that breaks the camel's back. And you can find the last stressor that tips you up, that pushes you over, right? But when you've gone over your threshold, often it's not a case anymore of taking off that last stressor, right? Often you have to go back to basics and build from scratch. Again, it's like, if we were juggling balls, I often say, in your life when things get busy, you can juggle 1 ball, 2 balls, 3 balls, 4 balls, and then someone chucks a 5th one in, and what happens? Everything falls down. And, we always look for what's that one thing that it is. Can I give you a case story?
Yeah,
right,
please.
right. This is a very typical patient of mine, but this is it was a guy in his 50s, I think it's a 52-year-old guy, right? He's got type 2 diabetes. Now he's a successful businessman. He's go all the time, right? He's, working hard, working weekends. He's always on his email, right? And he got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So he saw on TV in the UK, he saw my BBC show, the first series, and he saw what I did with that type 2 diabetic patient. So he drastically reduced the refined and processed carbs in his diet, okay? And then he'd read some other blogs and he really got obsessed with low carb. And he was getting some changes, right? His blood sugar was coming down, but then it plateaued. And he was getting frustrated because he kept reading more and more blogs. He kept lowering his carb intake and he just wasn't getting anywhere. So he ends up on my waiting list. He comes in to see me. And I remember going through everything with him and I thought to myself, this is not a dietary issue anymore, right? Because he didn't realize, like many people don't, that your stress levels contribute to your blood sugar levels. Your sleep quality contributes to your blood sugar levels. It's not just your diet. Even though diet is something we get it, we eat a bit of sugar, that's going to put the sugar up in our blood. We get that. But we don't get, right, and there's some really good studies on this, that if you only sleep 4 to 5 hours a night for 6 nights, okay, you are 40% less good at managing your blood sugar, right?
Wow.
You become pre-diabetic after 5 to 6 days.
Just from the lack of sleep.
Just from a lack of sleep. It's incredible. But when you start understanding that, you think, well, of course we need a more balanced, holistic approach to helping these people. So this chap, so what I did with him, I said, look, your diet is brill, okay? Arguably, it's too good. Arguably, you're trying too hard now and it's stressing you out. I said, it's sleep and stress for you. So I talk about these 4 pillars, all right? I talk about food, movement, sleep, and relaxation. That it's not about perfection in any one pillar, but it's about balance across all 4. This approach takes the pressure off people. It's not about the perfect diet or the perfect gym routine. It's about making sure your diet is good enough, making sure you're moving enough, making sure you're doing something for your sleep and something for your stress levels. It's an approach that works in the short term, but it's also going to be working 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line. So this chat with type 2 diabetes, we came up with a system. I said, look, ideally, you'd have a 90-minute switch off before bed where you don't look at work emails, you don't go on your computer. He goes, I can't do that, 90 minutes, no way. I said, all right, what about 30 minutes? So he goes, okay. So we started with 30 minutes, okay? We agreed in the consultation, I spoke to him about meditation. Again, he was a bit skeptical on meditation. I said, okay, look, hear me out here. I tell you what, let's get an app, right? So we downloaded an app in the clinic, right? I said, okay, this is free. We download this. All I want you to do is commit to 5 minutes a day. That's it, okay? So all we agreed on was 30 minutes before bed, he'd switch off his computer and his tech and his work emails, and he'd do 5 minutes meditation per day with his app. Okay, that was it. And he starts off, and he comes back in 4 weeks, and he's like, okay, I'm already starting to feel better. You know, he's sleeping better. He feels less anxious and stressed the whole time. So that was my way in. Then we got to increase it. So it was an hour in the evening, okay? It was, he only stuck to 5 minutes meditation, but we then introduced something that I call the 3-4-5 breath. When you breathe in for 3, you hold for 4 and breathe out for 5. And he did that a few times throughout the week. And bit by bit, he started to introduce these practices. He increased his carb intake, because I said, you're being too aggressive. You don't need to be that aggressive with your carbs. Okay, 6 months later, the guy's blood sugar is no longer in the type 2 diabetic range.
Wow.
Okay, so he puts his carbs up, he improves his sleep, he gets the stress levels down, and his blood sugar starts to come down. And that's why I'm so passionate, Tom, that when we take this rounded 360-degree approach to health, not only does it yield fantastic results, okay, but it feels more accessible, it feels more achievable for people.